science? Or you want the mumbo jumbo? Yeah, Melba Moore, living legend. And so he asked me about Rikers Island. I said, listen, man, my projects has had to be the same architect who designed my projects, who designed the public school across the street. The first time I ever went to visit an inmate in Rikers Island, it was the same fucking architect. So you go to something called School of Prison Pipeline. But I want to know why the guy who designed the projects, designed the public school, and designed Rikers Island. Is it for you to feel more comfortable when you arrive in Rikers Island that it's the same people? He said, really? I never thought about that. I said, well, imagine you in the Chevron. You're in the same designer. It's gotta be so. I'm not that deep. I'm not the conspiracy king. But there gotta be something to it that the projects were built by the same guys who built the public school and built Rikers Island. Right? And then if you go to Webster Avenue, they got the motherfucking projects with the gates in the hallway. If that don't look like...
Just like the 6 building.
If that don't look like the 6 building... Webster Projects 170. They have the gates across the street from the Muslim store. They have the gates. And so, what is this, right? And so, we are born in Rikers Island. We are born in Rikers Island. And so, it's normal for people to go there. And then the hood be making the dumbest shit you ever thought of in your life. Anybody went to Rikers Island for 6 months, 8 months, they came home like certified, like they had the blue check. Yo, I was in the island. Did a bullet in the island. Oh, he's a real dude. Yo, this guy did. He could have been getting his ass beat on the island, foot up his ass, smacked his cheek off, no phone time, but we think he's tough. Thank you, Melba. And so, they're lying to you and telling you like, you did your thing. It's a lie. The job is to not get locked up. So while I'm doing this interview, and let's keep it real. You want to keep it real? Throw the fire signs up. Now it's up to the individual if they went to jail to study GED, law library, get a trade. It's up to them. I don't believe there's nothing correctional about the prison system. Nothing. I believe when you go to jail and do 6 months in jail, they'll teach you more how to be a criminal. There's no rehabilitation in jail. All you do is meet more guys from another hood that really got it. And y'all get together. And the scariest shit and the wackest shit is human nature. We're human beings. Why did the man cheat on his wife? He's a sex addict. He has a problem. He's a human being. I might have a day. I argue with my wife for 3 hours straight. What do you think the next conversation is going to be like with an employee or something like that, right? So I'm giving you all this scenario to say sometimes, most of the time, it be black and Spanish correction officers worse than anybody. Now, I know that's different when you go upstage. Upstate, you know it's straight. You know what that is. But you go in there, and we got two worlds. We got the real world that we do. We got to work, pay our bills, do whatever. Then you got people in jail. And being that I'm talking about justice, let's just say they run concurrent. And so, yeah, human beings are sinners. The Bible says it. Human beings have many imperfections and many flaws. And these people go in there, they straight. You know, I keep it real with you. Some COs is in there, they stop. Once they check in, they stop. They might not know what their wives is doing. They not be able to have their phone to call their wife while they're in there. And so, they go in there, they treating you like shit. They talking to people like, this is my motherfucking house, and I run this shit. And then you be looking, all right, let me just give you what the real psychological problem is, right? Hypothetically, let's just say, there's a guy in jail for 3 murders. He's in jail for life. He did 3 murders, he's in Rikers Island. He murdered. I wouldn't murder a butterfly or a canary. He murdered 3 people. Stone cold killer. About to do 1,000 years. You come in there, you got a correction officer who's half his weight, bunch out of their queso, talking to him crazy. Yo, I don't give a fuck. This is my house. I'm the head nigga in charge. Well, what do you expect is going to happen? And so, it's crazy because all I did was 4 months in jail. And in Miami, there's no real, like, Puerto Rican correction officers. So I do my time in Miami. The only cop, the only CEO, not the warden, assistant warden, not a black cop, not a green or an orange. The only cop that ever screamed at Fat Joe, I was laying in the bed getting ready to go to work. And he said, yo, dumb loud, right? I'm like, I'm still chilling, right? Maybe he ain't talking to me. I said, yo! I'm like, yo! So I get up off the bed. The cop! The cop! The cop! So I'm like, the cop? It needs to go in the garbage. Now my shit is so spotless. It almost looks like there's shellac on the counter. It's so clean. But I was drinking a little water and I left the plastic cup on top of there. But the moral to the story, you're not understanding. I look at this dude, man. Young Puerto Rican dude. The only one that worked in the whole jail. And I said, look at this dude, man. He spent most of his life looking up to me. And now he gets a chance to go home and tell his friends he screamed on Fat Joe or some shit. How disgusting is this dude right here? I looked at him, I was more sad for him that he had to do that. Ain't no dry snitching me. I ain't tell you the man's name. I ain't tell you none of that shit. And he's a piece of shit anyway. Okay, you can take that with you if you know the nigga. And so, but I look at him and I felt so bad to him. For him, I felt. Yeah, looking up to Fat Joe. There's a lot to look up for. 28-year-old, 30, cop, yeah. He knows Fat Joe. He knows Big Pun. He knows J-Lo. He knows our work. But he got to go home and tell his friends, yo, I screamed on Fat Joe. He ain't no... Whatever he did this shit for. It was a cup of water. And so we dealing with that. We dealing with hatred of ourselves. Hatred of ourselves. You go to Rikers Island or any jail. Oh yes, people prefer power over money. You got punks who get to go in there and act like they're God, like they're King Kong, they're Godzilla, to guys that are really dangerous. Yes, power's a motherfucker.
It's the biggest drug in the world.
It's the biggest drug in the world.